7 strategies to defeat your adversary without engaging in combat. The real conflict is inside a world rather than outside of it. The Stoic understands that the greatest victory is not one gained with swords or words, where enemies can appear in many forms: angry, treacherous, cruel, or even misfortunate. The Stoic destroys their enemy without ever raising a hand, not through retaliation, but through mastery of sin's self. Let's examine 7 ways to accomplish this. First, conquer yourself, leaving the enemy helpless. Second, destroy their power over you by mastering your emotions. When an enemy attacks, your natural reaction to being provoked is to lose control, and when you do so, you give the enemy mental authority. The Stoic does not react out of anger or fear. Instead, they choose not to be enslaved by destructive emotions to destroy their enemy. Seneca warned that we suffer more often in our imaginations than in reality. If you master your own emotions first, no one can harm you if you refuse to allow them to calm your clarity. Your calm makes them impervious to the mayhem that others try to cause. By refusing to get involved in an emotional altercation, you lessen their influence. The battle is already won, and your enemy can no longer harm you too. Let your virtue make them unimportant. The virtues of knowledge and courage characterize the Stoic. Temperance and justice. These attributes are more than simply ideas. They are the mental skills that help us get by in this society. The best retaliation, according to Marcus Aurelius, is to be different from the person who caused the harm. When confronted with an adversary, demonstrate to them a life lived by a higher standard. When they act hatefully, respond with kindness. When they plot dishonestly, hold fast to the truth. Your virtue becomes a force that not only undermines their actions, but also elevates you above their petty attacks. In doing so, the enemy is exposed for what they really are: small and inconsequences. You do not fight them, you transcend them. 3. Outlast them with patience. According to a Stoic Seneca, no man is free who is not master of himself. Patience is a weapon of incredible strength that can demolish without a single blow. Your adversary, whether it be a person or a situation, will frequently try to provoke a hasty reaction in the hopes that you will falter. But the Stoic understands that time itself can be a more powerful weapon than any attack. By exercising patience, you let your enemy's weaknesses show while they burn with impatience or aggression. Over time, their own frustrations will destroy them as they exhaust themselves trying to provoke you. Your patience becomes their downfall because you comprehend their nature and use it against them. Since intelligence is the key to defeating any foe, the Stoic fights not mindlessly but seeks understanding. Epictetus taught that what matters is not what occurs to you, but rather how you respond to it. Understanding your enemy's flaws rather than their strengths is your best defense, their desires as well as their fears. Knowing your enemy's nature allows you to disarm them without doing anything. If they want attention, take it away. If they live on confrontation, offer them peace. If they try to manipulate, show them that you don't care. The most powerful weapon of the Stoic is an unwavering commitment to their purpose. In times of conflict, your enemy may try to divert or derail you from your path through petty attacks, manipulations, or attempts to provoke you. But a true Stoic stays focused on what really matters, ignoring the noise and distractions of those who seek to lead you. A true master of Stoic wisdom does not engage in combat. Instead, they outsmart their enemy by getting to know them well and responding with strategic precision, making their own shortcomings their undoing. 5. Epictetus encourages us to first imagine what we would be, then act on it. By remaining unwaveringly focused on your goal, you make the enemy's endeavors meaningless. Their activities, no matter how nefarious, will not affect the course of your life. The enemy's strategies are merely a diversion that becomes ineffective when confronted with a mind focused on its higher goals. Therefore, the Stoic does not waste energy on things over which they have no influence. This steadfast focus eliminates the enemy's potential to hurt you, because by ignoring their provocations, you deny them the opportunity to affect your life. Your purpose becomes your fortress, and if you stay resolute, no outside force can break through it. 6. Develop a complete lack of concern for outside validation. One of the most effective methods to defeat your adversary without engaging in combat is to completely disregard their praise or disapproval. When you stop looking for validation from your enemies, whether it be in the form of praise, recognition, or even the satisfaction of seeing them, you deprive them of their power over you. They may try to control or manipulate you by appealing to your ego, but a Stoic stays apathetic and grounded in their own sense of worth and self-respect. The Stoic understands that external validation is a transient and unreliable source of strength. As Seneca wisely states, wealth consists in having few wants rather than having a lot of material possessions. Developing this internal independence destroys your enemy's ability to use your own desires and insecurities against you. When you stop caring whether they approve or condemn their power over you, your self-sufficiency, which is rooted in the Stoic understanding of what truly matters, evaporates, leaving your enemy helpless because their influence is diminished the moment you stop giving it. This indifference deprives the enemy of their weapon, because their power over you was never in their actions, but in your reaction. The ability to keep quiet and controlled in the face of adversity is your greatest weapon, in the face of provocation or hostility. The Stoic recognizes that silence is not a sign of weakness, but rather a source of power. When someone tries to provoke or undermine you, silence becomes your shield. Every word they expect from you, every retort they seek, is denied in silence, depriving them of the chance to manipulate or escalate the situation. Marcus Aurelius taught that when you are disturbed by something outside of yourself, it is not the thing itself that troubles you, but your own judgment of it. By choosing to remain silent and withhold reaction, you maintain control of the narrative and deny your enemy the satisfaction of a response. By speaking less and reflecting more, you undermine your enemy's ability to provoke or control you, because it is in your silence that you are strongest. We must realize that the battle is never really about defeating another, but rather about overcoming ourselves, our emotions, and our impulses. Additionally, silence gives you the opportunity to think things through and make thoughtful decisions about your next course of action, rather than getting caught up in the emotional current of confrontation. Our attachments. When we defeat our adversary without engaging in combat, we show the strength of the Stoic method via self-control and release ourselves from the oppression of those who would try to bring us into confrontation, peace via wisdom and victory via virtue. Remember that the greatest victory comes from mastering oneself rather than